I'm back in the Bolivar gym today with Sarah Rice, who works for the city of Bolivar, and she is a female heart attack survivor. Many times we think of men as being the primary folks that deal with heart attack, but it can happen to women too. So we're going to walk here in the Bolivar gym. You get to do that right here at work. So I know we've had our folks here with us today in this location before, but Sarah, I wanted you to tell us about your experience of having a heart attack. Before your heart attack, had you had any of the signs and symptoms we hear about?
I did have signs and symptoms, but as is the case with most adults, women and men alike, you tend to kind of ignore those signs and symptoms until after you've actually had your heart attack. Then you look back on that and see that, oh yeah, I was experiencing some of these symptoms and didn't realize it or chalked it up to something else.
Right, gotcha. Okay. Well, and what symptoms were you having?
Shortness of breath, which I chalked up to smoking because I smoked for 30 years prior to having my heart attack. So, you know, when you smoke, you're going to be short of breath.
Right.
So you just pass that symptom off as being related to something else.
That's a good point you're making, yeah.
And fatigued a lot, you know. Of course, that can also be chalked up to the smoking. Beginning to age, which I wasn't old. I'm not old now, or I don't feel like I'm old.
No, you're not old.
But I had my heart attack at age 45.
I see, okay.
So in the overall scheme of things, a young female.
Right, you were a young female. So mainly the things you were chalking up or that had happened had to do with smoking, in your case. So you weren't overweight necessarily?
I was overweight.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't in the obese category, but I was overweight.
Okay.
I'm short, you know, 5'3", so we don't get to carry around as much weight as other people when you're short.
That's true.
So, yeah, I was overweight. I grew up in the household of my grandmother. She was kind of old school.
Right.
If it wasn't fried, it wasn't food.
Gotcha, I understand.
So I had grown up with that mentality, and I had been eating fried foods all my life.
Sure.
Not on a good steady diet or anything like that. And all of those factors, plus the smoking, just set me up to have a major heart attack, which I did.
Okay. So when that happened, you'd had the signs and the symptoms and things that you'd ignored. At the time that it happened, was there anything at that time? You know, they say there's classic symptoms for men, classic symptoms for women, but we hear so much about those for men. Did you, other than you leading up to it, you'd had the shortness of breath, anything at the time it happened?
No, and that's what can be a little bit misleading, especially to women.
Okay.
Of course, the symptoms are different in every person.
True.
But there's a wide range of symptoms for women that you can easily chalk up to everyday occurrence, aging, things like that.
Sure. We're busy doing lots of things for lots of people.
Right. Being busy, being anxious, you know, things like that.
Right.
My symptoms, though, were classic symptoms. And I realized what was going on because I had read about the symptoms before.
I see. So you knew when it was happening.
Yes. So when the first thing happened, you kind of think, okay, this is weird. And then when the second thing starts happening, you're like, I may need to pay attention to what's going on in my body.
Gotcha.
And in my head myself, when the third step came in, I had said, if this happens, I know I'm having a heart attack.
I've got to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the first symptom I had was pain in my jaw.
Okay.
Right where the hinge joints are in the jaw. And then there was some discomfort in the chest, but no pain.
Okay.
I had absolutely no pain whatsoever
Maybe
in my chest. No, just discomfort.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, you know, no matter how you turned, you just didn't feel right, but it wasn't hurting.
I see.
And when that symptom came up is when I said to myself, if you become nauseous, you need to call somebody.
Right, okay.
And within about 5 minutes,
I see.
I was nauseous.
I see.
And at that point, I told my husband, just go ahead and call an ambulance.
Right.
And of course, he kind of went into a little panic. He's like, can I not just take you to the hospital? And I said, no, I'm pretty sure I'm having a heart attack, and we just need to go ahead and call
Just
the
go,
ambulance.
yeah.
And so he did, and they got there fairly quickly.
Sure.
I had the best EMTs on duty that night, and I'm very thankful for them.
Absolutely.
But it was just within minutes of them getting
I
there
see.
that they had already determined that I was in the process of having a heart attack. And so they got me life flighted out.
Okay.
And once I got to Jackson to the cardiac cath lab, they began procedures on me.
Right.
I ended up having 2 blockages. One was almost 100%.
Yes.
I have a stent in from that one,
Okay.
and I pretty much died on the table.
Okay.
So they had to resuscitate me, and so I had an excellent cardiologist on standby
Sure.
that night, and everything fell into place.
And
to
you're
make
with
this
us
a
today.
successful story for me.
That's a wonderful, wonderful outcome, despite everything.
Yes.
So, if anybody out there's listening to this, men or women, you knew the things you were doing that weren't helping.
Right.
If you look back, in hindsight's always 2020. Do you think, knowing what you do now, you would have been able to change things? What would you say to somebody that maybe is smoking or maybe has some that, what would you say to them? Do you have any words of advice? I mean, we know the information.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved my cigarettes.
Okay.
And I knew they were bad for me.
Okay. Right. Most people do.
I had several people in my family who had smoked. I had seen what it had done to them. And I ignored that because that was something I
I
liked
see.
doing.
Gotcha. Well,
Until something dramatic
Okay.
like this happens to you to kind of wake you up.
okay.
And when that happened, and you're laying there in your hospital bed, the thing that's going through your mind is, if I want to see my children grow up, I've got to make some changes.
Right.
So sometimes for people it's that. I would encourage anyone who's smoking, don't let it get to that point.
Right.
Take it from me.
Well, and that's why we wanted to talk to you today. I didn't know about if you smoked or not. I knew that you were a survivor, and that's what we will hope to have more of, whether it's here in Hardin County or wherever people are that may, hear this.
Right, and you don't have to be old.
No, you don't. You aren't old.
That's the main thing.
Yes.
I was 45 years old, still got plenty of
Life
miles
ahead.
left.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I want to thank you for sharing your story. Is there anything else you want to share with anybody?
Not that I can think of, except get online, research what the symptoms are, and that way you'll know
Right.
when you start seeing those
Right.
symptoms happen.
And we'll post some of
What
that
might be
information. Yeah, we'll post that. And so the only other thing I'll mention, I know Friday is Go Red Day, and because it is Heart Month and Go Red Month, and we just hope everybody will wear their red. Support
be-
Sarah as a survivor.
I'll be wearing my red on Friday. I
Okay.
have a little T-shirt that my daughter-in-law had made for me.
Awesome.
It says heart attack survivor. It's got a little heartbeat going across it.
That's cool.
The date that I actually had my heart attack. So
Well, that's-
I'll be wearing that next Friday.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you so much.